Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to journey deep inside the human cell to get a handle on cancer, what it is, how it starts, and the absolutely revolutionary ways we're now learning to fight it. You know, everything in our body is about balance. It's this incredibly intricate, carefully regulated dance, especially when you think about our trillions of cells. But what happens when that balance gets thrown off? What happens when just one tiny part of that system just decides to stop playing by the rules? Okay, so this image gives us a perfect side-by-side. Look at the top, that's a healthy body. Cell division is neat, it's orderly. If a cell gets damaged, a safety switch flips and it's told to stop. But look at the bottom, that's cancer. That off switch is completely broken. The damaged cell just ignores all the signals and starts multiplying endlessly, chaotically. So how does a glitch like that actually begin? What's the trigger that turns one of our own loyal, cooperative cells into a full-on renegade? Let's get into the basic biology of it. Here's the most crucial thing to understand right away. Cancer isn't some outside invader, like a virus or a bacteria. It's our own cells that have started behaving badly. It's like a rebellion from within, where the gas pedal for cell growth is floored and the brakes that are supposed to trigger cell death have just completely failed. So what flips that switch? What causes a normal cell to go rogue in the first place? Well, it's pretty complex, and honestly, it's rarely just one single thing. It's usually a cocktail of factors: our environment, our lifestyle, and yeah, our genetics. And this pie chart, it tells a really powerful story. Just look at that. A massive chunk of the risk factors are directly linked to our lifestyle choices: diet and tobacco. Together, they account for a staggering 65% of the known causes. That tells you so much about where the real power of prevention lies. You can basically sort all these risks into two main camps. On one side, you've got the modifiable factors. These are things we actually have some control over, like our daily habits and what we're exposed to. And on the other side, well, that's the non-modifiable stuff. That's the hand you're dealt, like your age or the specific genes you got from your family. So, with all these risks in mind, and knowing that this whole cascade can start from just a single cell, it becomes crystal clear that finding cancer early, before it gets a chance to really take hold and spread, is just absolutely critical. Right, so the goal in modern medicine is really shifting. It isn't just about finding better ways to treat a disease that's already advanced. The real focus now is on getting ahead of it, on being proactive, identifying the risk, and catching the problem before it even becomes a full-blown crisis. And we've got this amazing toolkit to do it. There are screening programs for people who feel perfectly fine with no symptoms at all. We have advanced imaging that can literally see inside the body, all kinds of lab tests, and even cutting-edge genetic tests for families with a high risk, which can spot danger long before symptoms would ever show up. Okay, so let's shift gears. What happens if a cancer is found? How do we fight it? Well, the approach to answering that question has gone through a massive, and I mean massive, revolution over the last couple of decades. This is probably the best way to think about it. For decades, traditional chemotherapy was, well, it was like carpet bombing an entire city just to hit one single enemy hideout. Sure, it could work, but you'd cause a ton of collateral damage to healthy cells in the process. These new targeted therapies, they're like a special forces operation, a precision strike that goes right after the molecular signatures unique to the cancer cells and leaves the healthy tissue alone. And this changes everything. We're literally moving away from treating a location in the body, like lung cancer, and we're starting to treat the specific genetic flaw that's actually causing the problem. So, in other words, we're not just fighting the car anymore. We're now able to go in and fight the engine that's making it run. But wait, it gets even cooler. What if we didn't have to rely only on external drugs to kill cancer? What if we could teach our own bodies to do the job? Well, that is the incredible promise of something called immunotherapy. So, instead of using chemicals to poison the cancer cells, this approach is all about empowering our own natural defenses. It's about taking the handcuffs off our immune system and letting it do what it was designed to do in the first place: protect us from threats, and that includes our own rogue cells. This is such a game changer. See, cancer is incredibly sneaky. It can actually put out these signals that act like a cloaking device, basically telling our body's own security force, nothing to see here, move along. These new drugs, called checkpoint inhibitors, they block those hiding signals. They find the molecular breaks the cancer is using, and they cut the lines. And that unleashes our immune cells to finally see, recognize, and attack the cancer. And that right there, that's the key takeaway from this whole discussion. With targeted therapies and immunotherapy, we finally come to understand that every single cancer is unique because every single person is unique. The treatment has to be personalized to that individual's specific tumor, not just some generic diagnosis. All this remarkable progress really leaves us with a pretty hopeful and pretty profound question for the future. Are we actually witnessing the moment when cancer begins to transform from something that's seen as a death sentence into a manageable chronic condition? This whole new era of personalized medicine is completely changing our perspective on one of humanity's oldest and most feared diseases.